Hey everyone, Brian Pezim Traders. It's Wednesday, June the 9th. We're more than halfway through the week here. And this is the midweek video. We'll just take a look at how things have been going so far this week. Lots of meme action going on, continuation from last week. And of course, we'll just take a look ahead here, last couple days of the week, and try to figure out where things are going. A lot of we're going to be revolving around this CPI number. Consumer Price Index number that's going to come out tomorrow morning before the market opens. And of course, a lot of traders will be watching that to see how hot that number is. People are expecting to see the price index up, and I guess reaction will depend on how much it's up. But let's deep dive and see where things are going to go from here. Okay, here we go. So June the 9th, midweek. Let's highlight some of the things we're going to talk about here. We are waiting, as I mentioned, for the CPI number to come out tomorrow. Comes out before the market open, so we'll be a lot of people will be watching that number and take some cues off that for the rest of how the market's going to open. Some interesting things that happened today. The yield rate on the 10-year Treasury broke down through support. It had been chopping along sideways, and it actually broke down, so getting weaker. So that obviously put a bid under the Qs, although the Qs didn't react in stellar performance. They ended up selling off, but still ending higher on the day. So and sort of contrary to what you would think, the U.S. dollar rallied. You would have thought that a lower Treasury yield would have caused the dollar to sell off, but in this case, we had a bit of a rally today. Transports actually broke down today. We've been watching them sort of weaken up as we've been going through the week here, and they actually broke down again today. And we continue to see topping action on the SPY Dow and the IWM. Again, Qs up on dropping yields, but well off the highs. So let's get into it. More of the details. But before we do that, this is my little opportunity to advertise my book, on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. So the tools, routines, and strategies I use as primarily a swing trader, but I also understand this has been enjoyed by many day traders as well. So let's get down to some analysis here. And as always, we like to start out with the 10-year with the Treasury just to see where the yields are going, because it seems to be the tail that's wagging the dog, as they say. But you can see here we've been really holding this level of support, this sort of 155 level, and clearly broke down today on the yield side. So you would have thought that would have been good for the Qs, and of course bad for the banks. And we did have a bit of a financials sell off again. But again, kind of an interesting development, considering people are concerned with inflation. I'm not really sure why the yields are dropping. So, but I guess we'll see how they react tomorrow to the CPI number. Again, the TLT, which is the 20-year Treasury bond price, obviously went up when yields dropped. So you can see here kind of breaking out of a trading range. So should be good for the growth names in the Qs index. Again, as I mentioned here, it looked like on the transports we actually have rolled over. We put in a double top here, put in a lower high here, and now we are breaking support. So we did get through the 50 moving average today, and looks like we are heading lower. Of course, this is we like to watch the transports because quite often they will lead some of the other indexes lower, especially the Dow. Sort of the Dow theory with transports being tied to economic conditions. And here we have the Dow. Again, the Dow broke down. We lost 0.5% today. We've had 3 days in a row. It's been down after looking like we were going to break out after Friday's close. And stochastics rolling over, MACD rolling over, RSI, all the momentum indicators looking like we are heading lower on the Dow. IWM, you can see here I get pretty much an engulfing candle today here after looking like we were going to challenge. We had broken out from this prior high, challenged it, then we broke out, and now we are pulling back. So the question is, with the IWM, is quite often what will happen is you'll get a breakout and a check back to the point where you broke out from. So it'll be interesting to see whether we actually hold this level, this sort of 229 level, come back and test it and then go higher, or maybe this was a false breakout and we're going to break down. But we did get pretty close to challenging these highs back in from mid-March here. And the cues, again, a hollow fill candle. We've had 3 up days. Hollow fill candles mean they opened higher and closed lower, but still up from the previous day. So again, really indecision candles here. And again, you would have thought with the yields breaking down that we would have had a much stronger day here, but not. But you can see here the volume really dropping off. So really no institutional buying or selling, just people kind of waiting. Again, the SPY kind of just toppy action, as I mentioned in the slide, just flirting with this all-time high here again. As I've mentioned in the room, just there doesn't seem to be sort of any catalysts that are going to sort of push this market higher. On the other hand, there's just no there's just no other place for money to go right now to earn a decent rate of return. So money seems to be staying in the market. You can see here, as I mentioned earlier, we are putting in some bottoming action here, but strong on the dollar today. And the VIX up a little bit, probably in in anticipation of this CPI release number that's coming out tomorrow. There's also a Fed meeting happening next week, so might have some interesting ramifications as well. So let's look at the sectors here quickly. You can see here discretionaries, they really put in an engulfing candle to the downside. And I'm expecting some more weakness in the discretionaries. Communication and technology, again, gap up, but then kind of sold off here. Doesn't seem to, again, to be a lot of interested buyers. Industrial starting to break down here. It's kind of interesting. Materials broke down a little bit with the strength of the dollar. Energy broke down, probably in part the strength of the dollar, and also it's really had a nice run here, probably due for a bit of a correction. Staples really took it again on the chin today. Healthcare. I've had some pretty good healthcare news lately with the Biogen news, and then there was some other biotech news here as well. So I think this is catching a bid off some of those news releases. Positive results on some tests. Utilities kind of looks like they're trying to find a bottom here. And again, as I mentioned earlier, with the interest rates dropping, that's never it's not usually good for financials. So you can see here we had a bit of a sell-off today on the financial sector. Okay, so let's flip over to some stocks that I'm currently in right now, actives. And I did take a long, as I was talking about, this has been on my watch for a while, so I took a long here on Monday. I just couldn't keep watching it going up. Aqua, it seems to be, I think water is going to be a big commodity in the future. And this has been on a nice little run after this breakout. So I'm long a little bit. I didn't take a big position because not a great entry. I did get out of the rest of my forward calls after we really went ballistic here. I just thought we were overdue for a pullback. I am going to watch this, and I'm going to try to figure out a place where we might get back long again on the calls. Maybe on a gap fill back at 14, might send an alert there. FCell took some profits today on that, and we had a big pullback today on this, so just going to keep an eye on that one. Fubo took some profits on that one Monday. That was a nice, really nice trade. This one was one of our traders asked about this, and I looked at it. I thought this was really nice. What I liked about it was the way it was setting up here. You can see we had a nice breakout, and then we had a bit of a, I'm going to call it a pennant forming there, and when it broke out on Tuesday, I took a long position on that, and it's had a nice little breakout. So thank you to one of our traders, Jason, for asking me about that one because I kind of liked it and I took it long. So we'll be looking at seeing if we can get maybe up to 16 and a half, 17 bucks tomorrow. Still holding on to some gold, although I don't really like the way it's trading. I'm hoping that with some inflation we'll get a bid put under the gold trade here. Still holding some ICLN. LAC took some profits. Still have some. It's still in an uptrend, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Tech A, I've still got some in a Canadian account. Willow still holding on to this one. I'm kind of disappointed with this one. I was hoping it would do better with the MJ sector, doing pretty well over the last couple weeks, I would say. Tilray's been one of the ones that's really been kind of on fire here with the meme and the Reddit crowd. So okay, so some of the stocks I'm watching going forward, Airbnb. I sold some calls down here, or puts down here, 130. Collected all the premium on those. I'm looking at this 150 level. Obviously, it's an area where we've stalled out from, so I'll be looking at a pullback. I'm looking at a pullback here, possibly for a continuation move higher, making a higher low. So we'll be watching that one for a re-entry. Again, I've got to do some analysis on this, but we are getting back to this this trend line here, and there could be a possible bounce at this level. I do like this for a reopening trade. People are, everyone's dying to get back on the road, start traveling again. This 140 level, obviously a area of interest too, because it's a moving average. So sort of looking at that 142, 140 level. Aqua, as I said, I already dove into that one, so to speak. BTX got this pop, kind of a disappointment after rejection from this moving average. So I'm watching this level again, alert set back on it. CCIV, we played that early in the week. Took a position on Friday and sold it on Monday and Tuesday after that gap up. So I'm just watching that to see if we get a pullback to this 24.25 level, 24.70, 25 level for your re-entry. Fastly broke out, pulled back today. So we're getting some pullbacks on some of these things that have been working. GDX, again, not a great performer, unfortunately. I was hoping for better performance from oil, or from gold, I should say. Laser had a nice move up again, sort of into some resistance here. I'm looking for a breakout from 28 on that. Pen again, rejected from the 200-day moving average once again. So alert set there at the 200. See if we can break through that this time. Playboy had not great price action, gap down on Tuesday and then came back up, but really don't like to see that. And then we had a rejection here today, so kind of struggling on with that stock. Plug again pulling back today. We'll see if it's temporary or or we're getting a reversal in trend. Trillium's still interesting. Of course, some of these biotechs have been good, but kind of missed the boat on that one, unfortunately. And oil breaking out and then weakening up a little bit today after this nice run up, so not surprising. Okay, so let's sum things up here for the rest of the week. We're just waiting for that CPI number. Like I said, should have a pretty significant impact on how we open tomorrow. Right now, futures are a little green, but for the most part, flat. What are we going to be watching for the rest of the week? Watch that 10-year yield rate. See if it continues lower or bounces, or maybe it's just going to hold. But that obviously will have some impact on the growth sector, which is primarily the Qs. Also, let's see if the US dollar can continue to rally here. Should be interesting. And if it does, obviously, it's going to have a negative impact on emerging markets, gold and silver, energy, because as the US dollar strengthens, usually materials weaken up. Transports, keep an eye on those. As I mentioned earlier, they tend to be a harbinger of things to come for the Dow, and right now we are on the verge of breaking down here. if we haven't already. And of course, the meme stocks will still be in play. GME reported after hours, and it's down about $15 right now. So not a big drop, but obviously I think they lost a lot of money, which wasn't really a surprise. But they're still coming in there and supporting the price at around 285. So watch the meme stocks continue to get to be supported by the Wall Street Bets crowd and some of the hedge funds that are playing this, and the alternative energy plays. We're getting a bit of a pullback here, so we'll just see if is it a pullback or is it something, some topping action here, and we're going to get a return back to downward trend. So things to watch for tomorrow, apart from the stuff I have on my watch list. And like I say, I hope everyone had a good day. And we'll see you all in the Bear Bull Trading Room in the morning, 8 o'clock. We start on live on YouTube with Jared engineering the markets, and 8:30 to the market open. We will have Norman Carlos up taking us through the pre-market show, looking at all the movers in the pre-market, and then we'll be trading the market open at 9:30. So hopefully we'll see you one or all of those events. So have a great rest of the evening, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.